Hello. So here I am. You probably know me from my other channel. My other channel is That Girl Amber 92, and I'm starting a new vlog channel where it's just going to be me, just kind of everyday life, things that are going on with me. So I want to kick it off with some tips. So if you are interested in a career in the military, or you're interested in joining the military, I definitely recommend these two books. These books have been great, and they definitely helped me pass the ASVAB. The first one is Kaplan ASVAB, and if you don't know, ASVAB stands for Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery. The ASVAB is it's really not that hard. Like, I've been seeing YouTube videos about people stressing out about it and saying, and you know, it's like the SAT on steroids and yada yada yada, whatever. If you did good, I've been out of high school for 3 years, so it definitely took me some studying to do, but after that it was perfectly fine. And then I went in and took the test, did good. So, you know, definitely brushing up on your skills, you know, just the basic high school math, general science, but yeah, I'll go over all that with you. So the other one is the ASVAB for Dummies, and to be honest with you, there's really nothing you can study for because it's at random. The test is at random. It's not like a test that you'll get at school where your teacher will give you a study guide where it'll be similar questions on the test so you can know what to study for and how to solve certain problems, or know how to answer certain problems, or know, you know, what formulas to use. And no. That's not that way with the ASVAB. So I recommend just basically brushing up on your basic skills, like knowing the basic laws of science, you know, the basic formulas of math. Basically, it's really all you need, you know. Look through a thesaurus. Study a thesaurus, you know, and most of the words on there, it shouldn't be that too difficult for you if you know your prefixes, your suffixes, and what, you know, what things mean when at the end. Then you will definitely do fine. I'm not going to say it's just an easy piece of cake, because it does take you, it's a test, so it does require you to use your brain. But it's not that hard. It's really not. People are freaking out and stressing about the ASVAB. Don't. If I can take it and do a good job, which I'm not saying like I'm the dumbest person in the world, because I'm not saying that, but you know, I freak out about taking tests all the time. Like, I'm the worst test taker ever. Like, I can sit here and talk to you and explain everything to you and how to solve a problem, but when you get it in front of me and I have to write it down, or I have to, you know, it's just that stress and anxiety of test taking that just makes me go downwards. It's really just about knowing the basic fundamentals of, you know, the stuff. And I'm going to tell you what the stuff is in a second if I can get in here. So the ASVAB is a big, big test. And there's a little section of the ASVAB which is actually the biggest part, called the AFQT, and it's the Armed Forces Qualification Test, and that basically determines if you are eligible to enlist. There's a minimum score, no matter what branch you're wanting to join. Let me see. I know it's in one of these books. Depending on what branch of service you want to go to, there is a minimum score. Don't get comfortable when people say, oh, you know, the ASVAB is not a pass or fail. You know, it's not a pass or fail. You just take the test. It's just like a placement test. No, no, no. It's not just a placement test. It's a test, and if you need to get a score, you need to meet a minimum score to qualify. So it is a test. It is a pass or fail. But whatever. So, if you want to go into the Air Force, your AFQT score, not your whole ASVAB score, because your whole ASVAB score is broken up into little weird pieces. So the main thing that you want to focus on is your AFQT score, which is basically getting you in the door. And that you need to score, see, I don't know, because they've changed it so much. I heard that you need 50 now to get into the Air Force, but my book says 36. So I'm not really sure what is quite accurate. So if you're interested in the Air Force, then I would definitely contact a recruiter or get online and look it up. But this book says 36, but I've seen on YouTube that they said 50. So, you know, it definitely has changed. For the Army, and all these include the reserves and the Guard as well. It's, you know, the branch of service. So for Army, you need a 31 to get in. For the Marine Corps, you need a 32. For the Navy, you need a 35. And like the Air Force, for the Coast Guard, you also need a 36. So that is just for your AFQT score. Now, the rest of your ASVAB, you're going to be tested on several subjects such as general science, arithmetic reasoning, word knowledge, paragraph comprehension, mathematics knowledge, electronics information, auto and shop information, mechanical comprehension, and assembling objects. The electronics, auto and shop, mechanical, and assembling objects basically is after you qualify to be in the military, then they have to see what jobs you qualify for. So whatever you get the highest score in, say you get a really high score in electrics, which I got a really high score in electronics. And it's because I majored in a technical high school, but that's totally besides the point. So anyways, English and math is what makes up your AFQT score. But if you know how to read a paragraph and answer a few questions about that paragraph, you should be good to go. I mean, that's nothing to study for because, you know, you just maybe read a book. If you're not really into reading or you don't read you don't read a lot, find a good book that you're interested in. If you should definitely study at least 2 months in advance before you know you're going to actually take the ASVAB, just so it can give you some time to prep so you're not overwhelming yourself. But definitely, you know, if you're not a reader or, you know, you don't read a lot, I would definitely suggest getting a good book and reading that every night just to kind of brush up on your reading skills. Also, that'll help you in your word knowledge for your vocabulary. So it all helps, and these two books are really good books. I actually purchased this one from Barnes & Noble, and this one was $19.99. And then after going through YouTube and everyone's like, the ASVAB for Dummies, ASVAB for Dummies. So I was like, well, I should have gotten that one because they were both there, and I was like, I looked through both of them and I was like, well, Kaplan's a really reputable name brand. You know, I really like Kaplan. So I got Kaplan, which is, this one's really good because this one's definitely good for just breaking things down, textbook style. The ASVAB is a little bit more fun and friendly, and it breaks it down more in real life sense. So I definitely suggest, if you can, to invest in both of these, or do like me. I rented this from the library, as you can see the library sticker right there, because I was not going to go out and pay $18 for this book after I just paid $9.99 for this one. No. So yeah, my suggestion before you go out and spend any money, check your local library and to see if you can rent the book, because that would be a whole lot cheaper. You might have to renew it a couple times. I didn't have to renew mine, but you know, I definitely would suggest to check your local library first to see if they have any ASVAB prep books. They should. I mean, they have GED books there. They have the SAT prep. They have the ACT prep. They should have the ASVAB prep. If not, then I definitely suggest maybe looking on Amazon or going to your local bookstore. Like mine is Barnes & Noble, so I went to Barnes & Noble. But both of these books are really good. Also, I didn't get, but I heard was really good, was the flashcards as well. So yeah, you should definitely be good. It's, like I said, it's really not that tough. People who have filled it, it obviously was tough for them. It wasn't for me. I mean, it was hard. It was definitely a hard test because it made you think. And then also it's like that stress going inside of you because you're timed. And then there's like a little thing in the corner that's like remaining. You have like 2 minutes remaining. And then I look over and I have like 18 more questions. I'm like, how the heck am I supposed to answer that? So it's a little nerve-wracking, especially when you get towards the end and you don't have that much time, but you still have like a lot of questions left. Also, oh my gosh, so after I finished my ASVAB, because I'm out of high school, I had to take what's called the TAPAS, which is, I forgot what it stands for, but it's basically a personality test. And it's so weird. Oh my gosh. So they asked me like the dumbest and weirdest questions, and I had to like pick one. Like I couldn't opt out. Like I had to pick one. It was like, one was, I like to rob from my family. And the second one is, I like to insult my friends. Okay, neither one of them are my friends. I don't want to sit there and insult them. I mean, unless it's a joke or something. And I don't steal from my family, but you have to pick one. You know, it was just really weird. So be prepared to take the TAPAS. It's not alright to take the TAPAS. So yeah, so that's just what I wanted to talk about, was the ASVAB. It's pretty fun. It was definitely easier. Way easier, but if I'm fresh out of high school, I probably would have thought it was the hardest thing in the world. But because I've been out of high school and that stuff is like whatever to me, you know, it wasn't that hard. I mean, it was a test. I felt like I was being tested. It wasn't like I just breezed through it like a piece of cake. I felt like I was being tested, but I didn't feel like it was like the worst thing in the world, you know what I mean? So, thank you all for listening and coming to my new channel. So don't forget to rate and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.